Good evening, and thank you for coming tonight to our February 4th school board meeting. Happy to see everyone here. Thank you for coming. We're going to start with, as we do all meetings, with the Pledge of Allegiance. It will be led by Dublin High School class president, Ms. Rivali Reddy.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reddy. Also, would like to have the district mission statement now read by our student board representative, Ms. Tran.
Thank you. Our mission to ensure that all students become lifelong learners by providing them with a rigorous and relevant education that prepares them for college, university, or service to our country and for success in the global economy.
Thank you, Ms. Tran. Item C is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Tran, how do you vote?
I approve.
Board?
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. Moving on to item D, action item, Tri-Valley Learning Corporation, Tassajara Preparatory High School Charter School Petition, public hearing. Dr. Hankey, will you open us?
I will. Thank you very much. Once again, I'd like to echo President Halbert's words and say thank you very much for coming. This is a very important meeting to all of us, and we are especially appreciative of you taking the time to be here tonight. As such, this is a regular board meeting. However, there are some special nuances to this meeting because the only agenda item is a public hearing. We have formalized the process somewhat because we did anticipate a large turnout like we have tonight. And you probably had the opportunity to pick up a sheet of protocols that is a blue sheet. I want to make sure that you have one or someone next to you has one. That is available to you over on the side table if you have not gotten one or cannot see one. Number two, Mr. Halbert also mentioned the speaker sheets. They are the same color of blue. We wanted to call your attention to those, and Mr. Halbert will be referring to that. As such, this is a formal process, and it does not provide for presentations. This is about hearing from the public, responding to the charter petition, and those responses will come verbally to the Board of Education. Mr. Halbert will be talking more about that in just a couple of minutes. I wanted to give you the context for this public hearing. We received a petition on January the 11th from the Tri-Valley Learning Corporation petitioning the school district for a charter petition of a high school called Tassajara Prep. By education code, we must respond within 60 days to that petition. We are in the process of moving towards a response to that, and part of that process is a public hearing, which is being held tonight, so that the board can hear from the community about your feelings, your concepts of this particular petition. In addition, district staff is reviewing the petition on a series of 16 categories, and the response that we will be providing to the board will be in the form of those categories. That will be very formalized and will likely happen on the March 9th school board meeting. That's inside of that 60 days. However, the board may determine to hold a separate meeting like tonight because of the length of the agenda or because of additional items that we are dealing with here in the district, such as the budget crisis and so on. We will, of course, be publishing our board meetings as we always do and give the community plenty of notice. That's the context of where we are at for this evening. Once again, thank you very much for attending. Mr. Halbert does have some words he would like to share with the audience about our protocols.
Great. We're going to open the public hearing, and as we do, I would like to read a few comments toward instruction on how you can speak. Dr. Hankey mentioned filling out the slips. I want to say this is a public hearing regarding the charter school petition. That as board president, I'll be acting as the chairperson of the meeting. The purpose of the hearing is to comply with the provisions of Ed Code 47605B, which provides that a school district governing board shall hold a public hearing on the provisions of the charter at a time in which the governing board shall consider the level of support for the petition by teachers employed by the district, other employees of the district, parents, and community members. All interested parties are invited to participate in this hearing. And we will proceed as follows. Clearly, there are seats for 230 people to attend tonight. However, if we exceed 230 people, we will ask that you attend our overflow room, which is in the old boardroom. We need to adhere to fire regulations. At several points in the meeting, if needed, we will ask that those that haven't had a chance to speak and that may be in the overflow room would come in, and we may have to ask that somebody would give up their seat to allow an additional speaker. If you do wish to speak, please fill out the blue speaker card. Dr. Hankey covered that. All cards should be turned in right now. The reason for that is we're going to count how many cards we have, and we've allotted 3 hours, and we need to know if the standard customary 3 minutes should be allotted to each speaker, or if we have more speakers, then we might have to adjust the amount of time, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and so forth. You are allowed to submit a note or a letter to the board in lieu of speaking. We have had several turned in throughout the day, and that is perfectly acceptable. Comments will be read into the record. In order for us to determine who is speaking, we're asking that you complete the speaker slip fully by checking off all the boxes that apply. Again, we've allotted 3 hours for this hearing, and accordingly, the final call to turn in speaker slips will be right now. That doesn't mean we won't allow you to turn in a speaker slip later, but again, as I explained, we're trying to get all of them turned in up front. Speakers will be called to the podium in the order the cards were received. When your name is called, we ask that you approach the podium and stand at the podium. I will also call the next in line. That would give you notice to come stand near the podium. You're on deck. And I'll announce you when you then speak and the next person on deck and so forth. We ask that you proceed immediately after being called, read your name into the record, and speak for your allotted time. When you see the yellow light at the podium turn on, there will be 30 seconds remaining. We ask that in fairness to everybody, that you keep your comments to the time allotted. So after the yellow light comes on, you have 30 seconds. The light will then turn red. We ask that you wrap up promptly when the light turns red. When the final speaker is finished, the meeting will be adjourned. The board will not be making any comments tonight. As Dr. Hankey mentioned, this is an opportunity for us to hear from the community. We will have plenty of time in the future to deliberate and report out and have a final hearing, as Dr. Hankey mentioned, likely on March 9th. We know that there are differing viewpoints that will be expressed this evening, and we welcome that. We ask for courtesy to everybody and everyone in attendance tonight. To that end, you are reminded that verbal outbursts are not appropriate, that comments of an attacking nature are not appropriate, and we would ask that you adhere to that. At this point, I would ask that, again, any final call for speaker slips be turned in. I will begin by calling the first speaker and the first on-deck speaker as soon as Dr. Hankey gives me the big pile of blue papers that he has in front of him. And we will proceed as described.